Well, hello everybody. I hope that you're having a good week, and I'm here with another review. So, I took the day off yesterday because I've been a little bit under the weather, and the best thing to do when you're homesick is to watch a movie, and so just ignore the pug behind me. We're dog sitting for some friends. But anyway, so took the day off and just found myself on the couch, and we just recently got Hulu, so I have my movie selection has kind of expanded, and I saw that The Dead Zone was available, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot because I watched it, I don't know, a few years ago, and I feel like I really didn't pay that close attention to it. Maybe I was doing something else while I was watching it, but it was directed by David Cronenberg, and it generally gets good reviews and a lot of praise. So I thought, let me watch this again and really give it my full attention. And if you're not familiar with The Dead Zone, it's about a man named Johnny Smith. He's a teacher. He's kind of like just a normal everyman. And he has a car accident, and he ends up going into a coma for 5 years. And when he wakes up, he has developed basically psychic abilities. When he touches people, he can see what's going on in their life. And not everybody, but certain people, he touches their hand and he can see either their future or something that's going on now. The very first woman that he touches, he sees her daughter trapped in their house that's on fire. And so he tells her, your daughter is screaming, the house is on fire. The nurse goes home, saves her daughter. And this happens like the day after he wakes up. So, of course, he's pretty freaked out by it. So anyway, the plot is a little bit all over the place because, of course, it's based on a Stephen King novel, and if you've ever read any Stephen King novels, you know that he packs a lot in there. So the plot does shift a few times, but I do feel like it's handled pretty well. There's a serial killer involved in Castle Rock. That part's really eerie. There's a really great suicide scene that feels very Cronenberg to deal with that part of the story. And this movie also has an evil politician, which of course is pretty relevant to our current times and our distrust of government. So I think that particular part of the story has kind of made this story relevant again. So overall, I really liked The Dead Zone. I think it's a fantastic film. It's got that Cronenberg feel. It's a very kind of slow burn movie. It's not actually very scary. It has scary moments, but it's more about just telling the story of this man. And it's actually kind of a bummer film, which I personally, I like bummer films. But Johnny, he's this really nice guy. He's in love with this woman. They're going to get married. It's like the story of young love. And then when he wakes up from his coma, of course, she's moved on with her life, and she's married to someone else, and she has a child. So their relationship feels very real. But it doesn't really have a happy ending. It does and it doesn't in some ways. The world has a happy ending, but Johnny does not get to have a happy ending. So it's just one thing after another for him. He's a nice guy trying to do the right thing, and life just isn't very kind to him. So anyway, but I would say if you haven't seen The Dead Zone, it came out in like the 80s. So if you're a horror fan, there's a good chance you've probably seen it. It's been around for a long time. But if you haven't seen The Dead Zone, definitely give it a watch. And if you're a Stephen King fan, or you're a Cronenberg fan, or you like slow burn movies, or you like bummer movies, it hits all of those notes beautifully. So, also, it does seem like Stephen King is everywhere these days. Between The Dark Tower and It, there's a huge revival. There's going to be a Mr. Mercedes TV show. There was just an 11/22/63 TV show. Stephen King is like back and big, and it seems like it's that whole principle of, the more you see, the more you notice. And so I feel like Stephen King is just everywhere right now. So I'm not surprised that I ended up watching a movie based on a Stephen King property yesterday, because they're everywhere. The man has influenced horror in such a huge way. So anyway, check out The Dead Zone. Keep your eyes out for all the other Stephen King properties out there. I think some are going to be great, maybe some not so much. But I'm going to go see The Dark Tower this weekend probably. So I'll be letting you guys know what I think about that. So have a good day and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye. Guys, I can't believe I forgot to talk about Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken plays Johnny Smith in this movie and is fantastic. Christopher Walken in this day and age has become he's a caricature, he's almost a parody of himself, he's got that very particular way he speaks. But in The Dead Zone, he's just a normal guy playing a normal character. It's young Christopher Walken, and he's fantastic. So do not let that throw you off. When you see Christopher Walken in this movie, do not expect the typical Christopher Walken. You're really in for a treat, and I think that it was a stroke of genius. Whoever casted him really knew that there was something special there. So anyway, goodbye for real this time.